Dear students, welcome to our new chapter, Statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics with collection of data, analyzing it, interpretation, and presentation of data, which means collecting data from a field. Field may be a market, a classroom, a farm, or a street, or anything. We collect information from there, we take a note of it, then analyze it. Analyze means process the data and arrange them in a specific order so that we can apply certain rules to come up with conclusion. So interpretation is applying formula to get a final summary of the data. And once we get the summary, it can be presented. Presentation can be in terms of words like a paragraph or a sentence, or it can be represented in a table or a graph. Graphs itself can be of different types. You have studied about line graphs, bar graphs, histogram, pie chart, and many more. We will see such details in this lesson. First of all, we will go to collection of data, and there are two types of data. First one is primary data. Primary data means the investigator or a person is directly going to the field and then collect the data. Data that is collected from first-hand source using survey, interview, experiments, and so on. Such a data is called primary data. For example, a teacher taking the attendance in a classroom, that is a primary data. Or a person checking the height and weight of people, that is also primary data. Or a person standing beside a street and checking the colors of cars passing by. That is also primary data. So examples of primary data are height of people. Investigator is directly checking height of people, or checking weight of people, or collecting data in a classroom directly by a person. These are all examples of primary data. The benefit of primary data is that the person who is collecting data will get all the information and will know is there any fake information that we get. But in a secondary data, which means collecting information from a source which is already collected before, data gathered from studies or surveys or experiments conducted by other people. We can get such data from internet or from books, magazines, or even from a person who has already conducted. Such data are called secondary data. The problem with secondary data is the person who is collecting this secondary data will not know is there any fake or malpractice done while the data is gathered. Examples of such secondary data are collecting information from news channels or magazines, internet, or any other books. These are all secondary data. This is an easy way of collecting data, but the problem is we are not sure about the accuracy of the values that we are dealing with. Moving on to more details about data, raw data. You have come across the word raw data. Raw data means a data which is just collected from the field without any processing as it is. Such a data is called raw data, which is unprocessed data. Now, once you collect the data, what are we going to do? One of the reasons for collecting data is to find average. When we have a large group of people and we want to get a single value that represents a group, we take averages. Averages itself are of many forms. One is mean, another one is median, another one is mode. All of them will give us a single value except mode. Mode can give more values. We will come across it later on. Mean and median specifically, we will get as a fixed value which represents a whole group. Mode is also one value in cases, but we can also have more values in some other cases. Another one that we use to interpret a data is range. Range is a type of average, but not exactly an average because range only takes the highest value and the lowest value. In between, whatever is the value, it is ignored. So range is a weak type of average, but in cases we also use range. Let's move on to grouped and ungrouped data. Data which is as it is collected from a source, only organized but not grouped into intervals or class, is called ungrouped data. Example, this is an ungrouped data because the numbers are written as it is. Number of students who got 10 marks, only one student. Number of students who got 20 marks, one student. 36 marks, there are 3 students. So as it is written in a tabular form. That's all is written, so it is an ungrouped data. So let us see what is a grouped data. This is an example of grouped data. Because we have interval from 20 to 29, there are 3 people or there are 3 schools. From 30 to 39, there are 14 schools and so on. This is a grouped data. The problem with the group data is we will lose the primary information, which means, for example, in the first interval, we have 20 to 29, 3 schools, which will not give us the information. Are these 3 schools 20 or 21 or 27 or 28 or 29? It is just in between this interval. That's the only information that we will get. But for handling huge data, like to collect information of the whole country, or as even the information from a whole school which has thousands or more people, we can't deal with ungrouped data. So group data will help us to apply formulas and to interpret, give us a conclusion about the whole data. Now, how this group data is formed? Let us see. This is a raw data, which is not processed, and this is ungrouped. Let us try to group this data in a tabular form. This is number of plants given to few schools and how many plants survived after 1 month. This is the data. And how do we organize them? First of all, we have to see what is the least value and what is the highest value in this whole data. 23 is the least value and 98 is the highest value. So we need data to be organized between, let us say, 20 to 100. We always take few numbers less than the lower value and few numbers more than the highest value. So we can organize this group from 20 to 100. Let us say from 20 to 29, then 30 to 39. Now, there is a problem with this data. 29, then 30. What if you have a value 29.5 in a different data? So we have to make this continuous. So we have to see that one also. This is not a continuous interval. This is discontinuous interval. Let us see how to make the tally marks. First, we will see 95. So 95 is in this mark. Then 76 will be here. 75, 89. 75 is here, 89 is here. 93, 86. 93, 86. 87, 69. 87, 69. 92, 53. 92, 53. 67, 42. 67, 42. 83, 65. 65. 68, 90. 68 and 90. 56, 83. 56, 83. After reaching 4, we have to complete this way. And once we complete a whole tally mark, we will get a data of this form. And then once we get the tally mark, we write down the frequency in the next column. And at the end, we will write the total number of the whole data. Now let us see few terms related to grouping data. Each group is called a class, and the size of this class is called a class size or class width. So for example, the class size or class width of this whole table is 10, because we have to take 20 and 29, both of them. So from 20 to 29, don't think it is 9, we have to take both. there are 10 values in each of this interval. Don't forget, it is not in between, it is from 20, including 20 and including 29. So the class width of this table is 10. And now what is lower class limit? Lower class limit, each class will have a lower class limit and upper class limit. For example, the first in the interval, the lower class limit is 20 for the first interval. Similarly, for the first interval, upper class limit is 29. And we have to look into how to make a data continuous. This is from 20 to 29, then 30. So if you have another data which has 29.2 or 29.5, there is no space. So we can make it continuous by finding the difference between the upper limit of one class and lower limit of the next class. The difference between them is 1, because 30 minus 29 is 1. Divided by 2, so half. What we have to do is add half to the upper limit and minus half from the lower limit. So this class will be continuous now. So 19.5 to 29.5. Here also subtract half. So it is 29.5 to 39.5. Again, 39.5 to 49.5. 49.5 to 59.5. So if you have a data, for example, 29.3, it will be here. And if you have a value 29.6, it will be here. Now again, there will be a confusion. If you have 29.5, where will it be? That's why we have to specify upper limit included or upper limit excluded. We can define it. If upper limit is included, 29.5 will be in the first group. And if you have 29.51, it will be in the second group. Such details we will come across while we do exercise. That's all for today.